Hello again, beautiful soul family. Welcome back to day 3. This is the last day of our time together, and I have so enjoyed being here with you. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. It is truly an honor, as I continue to say all of the time. It really is a blessing to be able to be here for you, to be here with you, and to see your beautiful lights. Thank you, thank you, thank you for participating and showing up and being seen and allowing other people to see the beauty that is inside of you. So this really has been very much a special time together. And I've so enjoyed seeing everyone's comments and posts and beautiful I am the one videos. I love being with you. And the real rawness and authenticity that comes through is always so beautiful. You can see a name on Facebook. And really, I do put a lot of intention into feeling into you and getting to know you. But until you allow us to see you, we don't get to see the beauty that is inside of you. And so I just want to say thank you for allowing us to see you, because you truly are beautiful, every single one of you. And I do love you all so deeply and so very much. And don't forget that you are held, and know that you are never alone in this. Everything that you go through is also being felt by the collective in various ways. In fact, that's why I do a Monday Magic Intuitive Energy reading on my YouTube channel, because it's really all about that aha moment of, oh, I'm not the only one that just went through, the challenging eclipse or whatever it might be, right? There's a lot of purging happening in the world today. There is a lot of death and rebirth all across the planet. And you're not alone in any of this. And yet none of us can escape it. But what we can do is hold each other and hold being the one through all of this, right? Consistently being there for each other. So ask yourself again today, how are you feeling? Can you hold being the one? Can you hold that belief? Can you embody that belief of knowing that you are valuable? Do you really feel inside of your being that knowing of that I am a precious creation? It is an honor and a privilege and a gift to be in my energy, right? If you don't feel that you're important to someone else, how can you hold the knowing of your own worth? Even in the face of rejection or criticism, we can hold our own value and worth. And I have to clarify, I speak from experience. There was a time where someone's rejection or criticism, or even just the hint of criticism, would take me down for days, weeks, or months. But after healing, it is possible to still stand proud. Even as someone is sending their yucky energy at you, you can say, I am still a valuable being. Your perception and your perspective and the way you're choosing to see things is not a reflection of my value and worth. So we want to remember that a person's behavior says everything about how they are feeling inside and very little about your value and worth. A person's inability to recognize your value and worth says nothing about your value and worth. What that means is they're not able to see. It's not about you. It's about them. We have to remember that evidence of acceptance shows up when we don't need it. In fact, most of the things we need show up when we don't need it. What that means is that when you stop needing approval, you stop needing validation, you stop needing money or wealth, and yes, we want them, but to be in the need energy is to be in the lack energy. And those things will not show up until we no longer need it. And that is where we attract from. We will receive it when we no longer need it. So I had a beautiful client by the name of Corey. She's kind of my forerunner in all of this, as far as the one who accomplished her dreams the fastest. And it was interesting when I did an interview with her on YouTube. If you want to check out her story, that's there. It was amazing how sneaky her people pleasing and overgiving was. And I worked with her for a year. There is a pretty consistent healing arc, if you will, that usually within those first 3 to 6 months, we're very much in the healing phase. We're in recuperation, regeneration, sort of rest and digest, right? Learning to be in that calm state of our nervous system. And then on the latter half of those 6 months, or the latter half of the year, the second 6 months, usually towards the 9 to 12-month mark, we start to see people regain their energy, get excited for life, right? In that healing phase, most people will come to me and say, I want to step into my purpose. I want to manifest abundance. And I say, okay, great. Let's target the complex trauma or the unhealed wounds that are holding you back. And that tends to consume a lot of our energy. And then there comes a point right around that 6-month mark where you feel like, oh, I can rest. I don't even need my purpose. I don't need to go out and build my own business. I'm good right where I am. And that's very normal. It made me nervous at first when I first experienced that. But what we saw with Corey was in that phase, there was still a lot of people pleasing and overgiving showing up. And it wasn't until she kind of regained her energy in that middle slump, and it got towards the end of the year where she started to show up as a new person, no longer people pleasing, no longer overgiving. And that is when she really had the energy, and she said, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna make this work. And her YouTube channel took off. The job she had at the time gave her two raises and one promotion with an offer to move to the Carolinas. And when she rejected that and said, no, I want to stay with my purpose, they actually ended up allowing her to keep the promotion and stay where she was. And she still ended up quitting because her YouTube channel and her coaching business and her trauma spotting business was starting to take off. So it was just incredible how, when I first met her, she was very much struggling. She was struggling with depression and anxiety and general malaise, just coping with a social media addiction, among other things. We all have those coping mechanisms. She was wrestling with the back and forth of trying to escape a narcissistic relationship and struggling with never having enough money, never being able to receive the support that she needed, and never feeling like she deserved to ask for compensation or the proper compensation from her job, let alone her clients. And her story, and by the way, I do have permission to tell this story. Obviously, she did an interview on YouTube, which is public. So this is, I'm always very careful about protecting my client. It's not about taking your story and telling it to the world. But she really believes so much in this that she wants to share this story. So I'm honored and grateful that she is willing to let me share her story. But her mother was never physically there for her. Her mother left her father and was never physically or even emotionally there for her. She was in and out, but she also had a stepmother who was very triggered by her and consistently put her down and accused her of things that she didn't do. So Corey was very much stuck in this trap of never feeling good enough, not good enough for my mom, not good enough for my stepdad. And dad wasn't really there in the way that she needed him to be either. So she just kept looking to people who were not capable of treating her right to prove that she deserved love. And of course, that never came. And the beautiful part about Corey and really all of us is that she had profound gifts. She is highly, highly intuitive and psychic, and she is a beautiful trauma spotting healer. She is amazing with plants. Every time I would meet with her, I would just see this forest of greenery behind her. And her ability to tap into people is amazing. And yet she was not able to fully tap into it. She was doing tarot cards in the beginning, and the cards were almost like a crutch. And as we progressed through the healing phase, what she learned was that she didn't need the cards. The cards were just there to help her feel better about it. Right. And in the early stages, she would very much sabotage herself. She would come up with an idea, dabble in it, and then change her mind. Come up with another idea, dabble in it, and change her mind. And of course, my job is to always support the client to follow, because only you know what is right for your internal guidance. Yes, I do see patterns, and I do see these sneaky little stories that we tell ourselves that want to sneak in and tell us that we should shift gears. And I can help guide to some extent. In fact, at one point, Corey, I forget how many she started with. I think she had like 7,000 or 8,000 followers on her YouTube, maybe less, maybe 5,000. And at one point she came to me and she said, I think I want to start a new YouTube channel. And of course, having a channel and knowing how hard it is to get to that point, I said, I think that's probably a little bit of self-sabotage. Let's not do that. And she didn't. And she's now just reached the 15,000 subscriber mark on her channel. So yes, the mind is a sneaky beast, and it will keep trying to sneak in and tell you that what you're doing isn't quite right, and maybe you should pivot, or maybe it'll also say that what you want to do isn't safe. And so it'll try to keep you, right, that glass ceiling. It will try to keep you down under the guise of feeling safe. So after we finally worked together, Corey started to see the patterns and how she was holding herself back, and how she was constantly putting herself back to square one in this never-ending cycle of pivoting and starting over again. So once we worked through that trauma, it was amazing to watch her and you can just see the life come back into a person. It starts as sort of putting our shoulders back and leading with our heart and holding our head high. And then the glow about your skin and just the health that comes all through you. And health and wealth are one and the same. And so as she started to create boundaries and ask more from clients and from her job, like I said, she got 2 raises and the option to work from a gorgeous location in South Carolina, beachfront property. I don't know if it was beachfront, but I know that South Carolina, I can't remember the name of the town, but I know it was a beach town. So I'll say it that way. And so, of course, it was amazing how many things just started coming in for her, and how she's been able to quit that corporate job and is sustaining herself with her own business now. She was also struggling with connection and community. As with many of us, we are the hidden seekers when we're in this perpetual guise of healing. And she now has, started to engage with her community, is building a solid network of other mom friends and other baseball mom friends. And all together, she now has multiple different types of support. And she literally looks like a new person. She is an absolutely gorgeous being. And of course, I say that for all of my clients. But what's really interesting is most of my clients have said, I feel like a new person, and I feel like I've finally come home. Another client said, I never thought I would accomplish anything like this in my life. I never imagined I could become this person. And it's so shocking to see how many of us deal with the same thing. That feeling of wanting to go home, identifying as a starseed, nothing wrong with that, but this desire to be home, as if home was some off-planet place that I can't get to until I pass. What a terrible way to live our lives, that we can actually feel home here in our bodies, in our life. We can actually love this life, no matter how difficult it has been so far. And I had someone on Facebook comment the other day, only the people who didn't really experience trauma will say that. And I thought it's a sad thing to choose to believe. And I want to reiterate something that I say often. Like I said, repetition is the key to all learning. This is why I repeat things. But if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. If you believe that everybody else who says that they could heal and live a good life, and, oh, it was for my best, or it's been the best thing I've ever experienced, if you choose to believe that you are somehow different and you are somehow separate and you can't experience that, I don't want to leave you behind, but I have to allow you to keep. Nobody can convince you otherwise. Nobody can save you from that belief. And so remember that you are not alone, that many of us have experienced the deepest, darkest depths of experiences and trauma and emotional states. And some of us have come out. There are many others. If you look at people like, Eckhart Tolle, thank you. Eckhart Tolle, who he was ready to kill himself. He was suffering in such a way. And now look at him. He is still and peaceful and living in a beautiful life and using his experience to help others. So again, you are not alone. Remember that we are all walking alongside you on this journey, that we're all collectively trying to heal this wound of not enoughness, the wound of fearing brokenness or looking to everyone else to heal our wounds, the wounds of expecting solutions to come from outside of us, and the confusion of not understanding what does it mean to say I have everything I need within me. We have to know that we matter so that we can become that energetic match to the happiness and freedom and love and respect that we seek. There is a reason that personal development is growing in popularity. People are beginning to realize that their emotions matter, their needs are valid, and mental health matters. Beauty is in what this leads to, the beauty of life and how beautiful and awesome and amazing it can be to live a life that you love does build on this foundation of struggle. It is possible. And we just have to awaken to our power to be able to choose and to know how to heal, to be able to get this up and out of our body. We are awakening to our power, and we are awakening to the beauty of what life is meant to be. Depression and anxiety are on the rise, and they have been for 20 years. There is a collective soul sickness. Just look at COVID-19 alone. It was extremely traumatizing. Sort of the criteria for whether or not you've experienced complex trauma is, did you feel safe, seen, heard, cared for, or loved for an extended period of time? Did you not feel safe, seen, heard, cared for, or loved for an extended period of time? If you look at socially, collectively, society did not feel safe for almost 2 years. And so we are dealing with a collective traumatized soul sickness, right? Not to mention those of us who felt this urge to quench an insatiable thirst for meaning and contribution that we haven't been able to quite figure out how to do. That feeling of, I need to do something that matters, to make a difference. That is our desire to live out our purpose. Mediocre and just okay lives won't cut it anymore. Our soul will not leave us alone until we listen to the call. And I think we have seen the evidence in our lives. So now we know, what will we do about it? The next question I often get is, do I just go out and quit my job tomorrow? And of course, I cannot answer that for you. That is up to you, because only you have access to your internal guidance system. But personally, had I had to do it again, I would suggest baby steps. I would suggest an exit strategy, right? Start with the trauma healing. And at the end of the day, you are the ultimate source of your guidance for what is right for you. No one can tell you what to do, but if you really feel the need to jump, follow your guidance. But if you can tolerate another year and go through that healing arc and get to the other side so that you are fully capable of moving through life the way you want to, that is what I would suggest. Remove those blocks and limitations. Take a course, study how to do marketing and sales, and practice showing up, doing Facebook Lives or YouTube Lives, something of that nature. All right. I'm sure you know, no one can tell you what is right for you. And I'm sure you've noticed that before. Have you? What I can tell you is this: finding your purpose takes time, and it's a process of alchemy. It's like making soup. You might add a little bit of salt, and you might add a little bit of pepper, and you might taste it along the way. And after it marinates, the flavor will change. Maybe you need to add a little bit more salt tomorrow, or maybe a little more water because it was too salty. Maybe the next day you want to add some starch. It will never be stagnant. It'll be ever unfolding. And the more you do the work, the more the work works on you. You will not be given insight into the full plan. There will be no 5-year roadmap, no major milestone checklist. Although I love those things as a recovering type A personality and getting over the perfectionist trauma response. I can say you won't be given the roadmap, but you will be given moments of insight and clarity that you are on the right path. And as we all grow, we are tested. The universe wants to know that your commitment to the path is solid. Your confidence in being the one is paramount. Your commitment to owning your power is critical. And you will overcome those tests so long as you don't quit, right? No one has the power to do this but you. Not a psychic, not a tarot reader, not an astrologer, only you. Only you will be able to find your purpose. Only you can create this alchemy, right? This soup of life. You are the one wielding the power. And I know I would much rather have had some psychic or astrologer be able to pinpoint and say, you need to do this and this and this, and this is what your purpose looks like, and this is how it's going to work out. We all want that level of certainty because it seems to give us safety. But in the end, it actually is a crutch, and it holds us back. It keeps us from owning our power. And only you can be the decider. Only you can choose. Only you can level up. Only you can make your life purpose soup, right? Only you can see and sense where your resistance is. And only you can realign energetically. You will be given the gift of mirrors to show you your blocks. We will be given the gift of triggers, and they might feel a little bit prickly, pricky too. But the perspective is that we can choose to shift them into love. We can choose a new perspective anytime. And they actually will help you realign your energetics to your goal. Once you master the energetics of calibration and you put down resistance, you will see the path more clearly. In those moments where a client moves from the fight or flight activated nervous system state all the way through into the rest and digest, healing, growth, and repair parasympathetic nervous system state, that's the moment when people say, I can see clearly now. I can see my path. I can see what was holding me back. And I finally feel at home. I finally feel strong enough to move forward towards what I know I'm called to. This is when you will start to level up faster than ever before, and your gifts will start to come online. You'll start to realize that you can do things you never knew you could do. You will become magnetic and possibly even unstoppable. You will be cared for. Absolutely. Your needs will be met every single step of the way, whether or not you choose to jump off the cliff and build your parachute on the way down, or you decide to go the exit strategy route. Either way, you will have exactly what you need in exactly the right timing. And while it takes time to support yourself financially, you can trust that you will be provided for. The birds do not struggle for food, and the trees do not search for water. And are you not more precious? You are your Creator's favorite. So long as you energetically align to the divine will, thy will be done, not my will, right? Have faith and trust and surrender, you will be provided for. And the divinely guided action that you are offered is the key. You have to take action, right? Play Marco Polo with God. Ask for advice, take the next step. Ask for advice, take the next step. We have to be certain that the divine is driving. If we're driving from an ego state, it won't work. We have to surrender to the will of the divine. And we will live in a beautiful world when we do. And in fact, speaking of beautiful worlds, we live in the beautiful world of the internet. And that is a place where we can make money in a few short weeks if you are in the right strategy and the right energy, right? And remember, any strategy will work in the right energy. You get to do it your way. And whatever resonates for you as right for you, not from an egoic perspective, leaning on the body for that full body yes or no, remembering the divine is in the body and the body will help you discern. That's where we get to understand whether or not we're on the right path. That's when you can make a decision. And although things seem bumpy as you're going through things, you can look back and say, I know I did the right thing. So I know this is working for me and life is happening for me, not to me. Right? Of course, that voice of unworthiness will try to sneak in and convince you that you didn't make the right choice, or you're not ready, or it's not time. But the truth is, no one is ever ready. And some willfully jump off the cliff and build their parachute on the way down, but others are slower to change. And those are the ones who get pushed off the cliff. If we wait too long, life will make it happen for us. You will have a Pluto moment or a Saturn moment or a Uranus moment where things just come through and they say, enough is enough. It's time for change. So we get to decide, do I want to just jump? Is that what's resonating as true for me, right for me? Do I want to take it a little bit slower, but still have moments of action and where I am moving towards the goal? Or do I wait and keep my feet just dug in and wait until I'm shoved? Either way, we're going to get there. It's really up to us what level of speed and discomfort we want to experience in the process, right? It's those who don't take the action that get nudged. So I don't want to scare you like that. But just remember, being stubborn will also have repercussions. You can prepare and you won't ever be 100% ready. But the beauty of knowing that you are cared for and supported by the divine is that when you do take the leap, it's the perfect timing, right? And so if you commit and play full out in the right strategy, in the right energy, you will be on your way and you will have a solid foundation within 6 months to a year. And it's just that first step of setting the intention. And when you say it out loud, like you did the other day, then you know you have launched that rocket of desire. So buckle your seatbelt. Know that things will fall away. And it's not that things are falling apart, but they are falling into place. You have to know that you can't figure it out from the level of the mind. And this never-ending merry-go-round of thought in your head will only cause suffering, separation, confusion, frustration. Have you ever noticed the brain thinks it can solve a problem and it just keeps going round and round and round and round? Does it ever actually solve the problem? I don't think so. Have you noticed that taking action accomplishes more than thinking about the action, right? Tony Robbins suggests massive action, right? Burn the boats, go all in. just know that if that's the path you feel called to, that trauma demon will sit on your shoulder and growl in your ear and tell you how unsafe it is. And you will definitely come up against that glass ceiling of your safe place. That is your historic set point, right? But with support, healing, guidance, somatic trauma healing, you absolutely can move through that. You can find the right energetic alignment. And time again, when you commit to a path and invest in your healing, you will retrain your brain to start to work for you. The mind is a tool designed to receive messages, not designed to be used. It is designed to be used by you. You are not designed to be driven by it. It is not meant to go out there and find all of the answers. The brain is actually designed to receive. The body is far more intelligent than the brain. The brain is often the last to know. So you are meant to be in control of it and use it like a tool. Don't let it drive you. So there are exercises and processes that will help you identify the old neural pathways and reprogram them so they start to work for you. That will help you remove that glass ceiling through trauma work, through neural pathway reprogramming. Trauma spotting is critical, right? Once you do this, your mental energy will flow in the direction of your dreams. And that's where you'll start to find that you have mind, body, soul alignment, right? Everything's moving in one direction instead of feeling like the body wants to go this way, the soul wants to go this way, the mind wants to go that way. We need mind, body, soul alignment. And that is when you tap into that level of certainty and confidence that you have never experienced before. Because you see, confidence comes from competence, right? Not from thinking about it, not from studying. That means doing. Competence means activity, means actually doing the thing over and over and over. You may have heard of Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours. That's what it takes to reach mastery. It doesn't mean thinking about it for 10,000 hours. It means doing it for 10,000 hours, right? So confidence comes through competence. What that also tells us is we're not going to feel confident when we first start, and that's okay. Somehow the world has convinced us that failure is a problem. And yet in the corporate world, they will say, fail early and fail often, because that's how you learn. Failure is a good thing. So we cannot expect to feel confident while we're sitting on the couch and avoiding the action. Also, another analogy, have you ever noticed that this little tiny mouse that sits in the corner casts a really big shadow on the wall? The more we think about it and the more we avoid something, the bigger the shadow becomes. Have you ever, well, I would put it more so in a personal example. I had a car accident back in March and I started to avoid that intersection. It was an intersection I used to go through all the time, maybe 8 to 10 times a week. And because I had the accident there, I didn't want to go through that intersection anymore. And what I didn't realize was every time I avoided that intersection, I went around, I made myself late, I came up with all these excuses. The intersection grew in power over me because I avoided it. So in our avoidance, in our preparation, we are actually creating more fear around the thing that we know we need to do. So we have to follow the action or the guidance that we've been given immediately, without delay. Over time, we will build this muscle and it won't even be something we think about anymore. We've created new neural pathways at that point. So we need to do this not only for ourselves, but for our kids, for our family, for the world around us. When we show up, we claim our authority, we become the one, we give permission to others to be the one, we declare and know and embody our value and worth. We know we deserve the love and respect that we seek. We know we deserve our abundance birthright. That's when our thoughts start to work for us. And they are a source of creation. So we want them to be, again, driving mind, body, and soul all together. So remember, spelling, right? We're casting a spell with our words. Our words are the foundation of everything. It's the foundation of our vibration, our frequency, and our attraction point. Remember that in the beginning was the word. Everything we see on planet Earth was created with the thought and the spoken word. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready to start dealing? Actually, hold on just a second. Sorry, I have to check one thing. My live notifications, I tell you. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So just kind of remembering where I was here, our thoughts are our source of creation, right? So in the beginning was the word, and everything we see on earth was created with a word. So we just want to remember how powerful our words are, how powerful our beliefs are. So you have to ask yourself the question, are you ready to start creating with intention? Are you ready to finally live the life of your dreams? Have you come to that point where you've said, enough is enough? I'm done living this way. We have to ask, are we ready to step into our purpose? Are you fully committed to that? And remembering that the first step is healing the blocks that keep us hidden and keep us remembering our value and worth, because we are one with the divine. And that is what allows us to follow our guidance and use our joy compass to show us the right way. So taking the next step requires action, not thought. And as soon as we receive that guidance, we rest in full faith and trust that action is required and the next right step. We remember that we are deeply cared for and loved, and we will be guided towards our purpose. We remember that it's not up to us to figure out how to do it, not up to us to figure out how to do it on our own, right? We are not alone. In fact, we can't do it alone. And if we try, that will block us. We have to remember that we are in this, we are intimately connected with the divine. And just like the child sings the song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, the divine wants us to allow ourselves to flow down the stream, to rest in faith and trust and surrender. And that can be so counterintuitive and seemingly counterproductive for those of us who've experienced complex trauma, where we have that hypervigilant tendency, where we're constantly pushing, we're constantly on the go. That causes us to feel like the only way to make progress or to achieve action or to achieve progress, for lack of a better word, is to keep pushing and to keep doing. And yet we are asked to step out of that hypervigilance and into the flow of the divine support, right? So I will also say it doesn't come easy. It takes time. Deconditioning is more of a process. In human design, they'll say deconditioning takes 7 years. I'm not so sure about that. I would say for me, probably 3-4 years in, we're pretty well there, but I will also acknowledge that I'm finding new and new levels of rest and ease every day. So who knows, maybe it is 7 years, maybe it's a lifetime, right? But it certainly is better within 6 months to a year. It's not a struggle anymore, right? So over the course of the last few days, we have covered a lot. So I just kind of want to make sure that we recap everything, synthesize everything, and put a nice little bow on it, right? So we realize that we are the one. We have accepted that. We have declared it. We are creating the change that we want to see when we realize that we are one with the divine. We are inherently worthy because we cannot be separate from our creator. And we finally are starting to question that voice that says, who am I? Who are you? Right? We see the lies of the ego and we refuse to believe in separation. We are awakening to the beauty and the fun that life is meant to be. And we remember that the world is our oyster. We know that there is no one on earth that can do the thing that we came here to do, and that we are perfectly imperfect for our purpose. We are learning to love ourselves and our imperfections. We are locating the missing parts of us and reintegrating them lovingly, becoming whole again, and embracing what was lost but is now found. We have become whole, and finding home feels so beautifully peaceful and amazing, right? It's not too late to snag that meditation to reclaim your wholeness from day one if you missed it. Certainly just go ahead and post, let me know, send me a DM, and I will throw you into the hat for the drawing for the free coaching session. Let's not forget, you can always take your power back in any moment. Become unshakable and recognize that your future is being created by your frequency. Recognizing that I am the one to shift it, and I am the one who recognizes my unification with the divine. We remember that attunement and calibration eases the process, and that we're not meant to do this alone. There are no brownie points for doing this alone. We are built for connection, and the world is there for our reflection, to be our mirror, to help us see where we need to heal, and to finally find a better way that points to a better day. We remember that life is a gift, and it is happening for us and not to us. And that recalibration is happening in every moment, in every micro moment, and that's okay. We have to recalibrate, right? We shine the light on the thoughts of limitation, and we catch those lack beliefs, or we observe the assumption that we're not liking what we see in the mirror before we even look, right? We choose to break the cycle of going it alone, and we choose to see the beauty in others. We choose to connect and to collaborate the way we were built to. We allow ourselves to fall in love with the mentor that has done what we want to do. And we allow them to feel like home so that there isn't anything that can stop you, so that you can collapse time and catapult yourself into the new life that you dream of. The belief that we have to do this alone is the very thing that sets us up for failure. It reinforces that question of, what if I'm not enough? But that's an unreasonable expectation, to expect yourself to do it alone. That's what keeps us stuck in this cycle of perpetual healing, or heaven forbid, brokenness. In order to heal the collective wound, the relational wound that is complex trauma, we have to embrace our value and choose to know that we are worthy of asking for help. We are worthy and deserving of support. And that is what is going to allow us to shine our light and be seen, and offer the grace to others to be the one. Through our presence and connection, no longer do we have to fear being seen. For once, we can actually have a chance to receive love and respect, the thing we so deeply need and desire. That is when we step into the certainty of I am the one. And we step into the knowing of I'm the decider. We remember, I choose. We become the one to heal. We become the one to lead. And we become the one to also be led. We decide to own our power. We decide to recalibrate and realign. We decide to believe. We choose to rewrite our story, and we choose to reclaim the lost parts of ourselves as we connect with others. And that also is empowering them to decide to choose to be the one, right? We're leading by example, and we are reclaiming our dreams in the process, not to mention also building heaven on earth at the same time. There's a certain level of self-honesty that's required here as we go through all of these things that we just learned. The brain will not assist you in your desire for change. And until you train your brain to work for you and tell it, not allow it to tell you all sorts of lies about how it's unsafe, we will be controlled by it. We have to remember that that voice is not our own, and we want to give it a name. I like to call mine the little trauma demon, whatever your name feels fitting for you, but separate yourself from it. Remember that this change will feel uncomfortable, and the trauma voice doesn't like discomfort. It deems that as a lack of safety. So until you redefine the definition of uncomfortable, we will continue to feel uncomfortable and unsafe. But we can learn to question that. We can change that fear. We can adapt and say, maybe this new discomfort just means we're moving into a new life. Maybe we're pursuing our dreams, and discomfort is a good sign that I'm not stagnant anymore. We can find a new perspective if we choose to tell ourselves a new story. Hack that neurochemistry that makes you feel uncomfortable. We can learn how to make our brain work for us. Like I said, it's part of my course. We want to notice the stories that we have chosen and told ourselves, and notice the meanings that we have assigned to things. Notice those and choose to tell yourself a new story. Remember that you cannot hold the energy of fear and love at the same time. And remember, your abundance is your birthright. You are directly connected to the source that created all that there is. There is no possible way that you could be separate from your abundance birthright, let alone your worthiness or your self-worth. So are you ready to let go of what holds you back? Are you ready to let go of all the blocks, all the limiting beliefs, right? Let's get familiar with what you're holding on to. What stories and traumas and beliefs are living inside of your subconscious brain that you're not able to see? What meanings have you assigned that you create resistance in your own life through? For me, it was the subconscious belief that I operated on that I was bad. And for Corey, it was that her worthiness was dependent on her acceptance of others. For other clients, and one client, she didn't feel that she measured up to people, and therefore she would never accomplish anything in her life because she was somehow inferior. For another client, it was safety. People in the world are not safe, and the only option is to stay tucked away and hidden in a normal life. And when we harbor these beliefs hidden in our subconscious, we might maybe binge on YouTube videos and seek more knowledge, but never really take action on what we've learned. Rarely do we spend equal amount of time building our business and working on our purpose as we do binging social media. You might scroll for hours on Facebook and repost everybody else's content and then kick yourself later for not using your free time to build your own brand. You could even have that crippling fear of posting your own content and saying things that actually are on your mind for fear of how others might respond because someone taught you it's not safe to be yourself, or it's too risky to rock the boat, right? Many times people will craft beautiful messages and adapt them and adjust them and perfect them, and then end up deleting them because the fear is so strong. You might even get frustrated with your lack of progress and try to force yourself with willpower to go live or to do the thing you know you need to do to build your business. But then you end up falling back into that feeling of being paralyzed and triggered by the fear of rejection or criticism and never actually do it. Maybe you perpetually spend your days in meditation, rest, and recuperation and never move past this perpetual healing phase. Oftentimes we'll ask for guidance, but all we ever hear is you have everything you need inside of you. That used to drive me crazy. I'm like, just tell me what to do. And that's because we are being asked to take our power back. If we were given the guidance on the next right step, we wouldn't have come to this place, right? So we have to ask ourselves, are you finally ready to break free? What are you holding on to? What is holding you back? Are you finally ready to bust through these blocks? There are so many things that we hold on to that we can't see. They hang out in our blind spot. Patterns are so habitual that we don't even see what we are doing. And it makes me think of the show Hoarders. There was this woman who lived in the same house for 30 plus years, and she never threw anything away. She lived in a 2-story home filled to the brim. Her kids were grown and gone, and they had moved away. And since they left, there was no reason for her to go upstairs or to the other parts of the house. And they all just became packed to the ceiling with trash. And one day the intervention team arrived and they tried to go through the front door, but they couldn't even get in there. They had to go squeeze in through the back door. And there was this narrow pathway to walk through between the mountains of trash on either side before they finally found the woman, where she was sitting on an old dirty mattress on the floor. There were no sheets, just an old tattered blanket and a bare pillow. And they sat down next to her and she squirmed uncomfortably. She didn't like people in her house. And the man picked up a popsicle stick and he asked the woman, "Can I throw this away?" And the woman said, "No, that's my son's popsicle." And to her, it was sentimental. To her, it was a memory she was holding on to. Her son had left, but she couldn't let go. And she couldn't see how this was holding her back. She was hanging on to the belief that it was special. And just like this lady, we hold on to the beliefs that we can't see that are holding us back because we believe they somehow serve us. We have to clear out the fear and the clutter so that we can finally be who we are meant to be and believe that we are worthy. It's time to identify those negative thought patterns. Again, it comes back to choice. We can replace them with the knowing that I am one with my creator. I'm one with abundance. I'm one with all that is. And this limiting belief is a block. It is the prison that I have built for myself, and it limits my vision, clutters my mind. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready for a miracle? Right? A miracle is simply a shift in perspective. The doors are open to you, and you have more available to you than you ever thought possible. So ask for help from the divine, from renewing your mind, right? Undoubtedly, you'll have that limiting belief around money and abundance. That's why you're here. How often do you tell yourself, I don't have enough money to XYZ? I can't afford XYZ. That's too expensive. I can't spend that much on myself. Most people with the not enough wound experience this. It's amazing how complex trauma is directly linked to abundance blocks, abundance and purpose blocks, right? But what I can promise you is those beliefs are not true. It is only a belief and a perspective that creates it. And where there is a will, there is a way. And if I promised you I would give you a car worth $1 million and you just had to come up with $2,000 to get it, I bet you would find a way to make that happen. And that's a shift in perspective, right? We can say today, oh, I don't have enough money to go out to dinner, to buy myself a new pair of shoes. But if I said, I'll give you $1 million car if you can come up with $2,000, guaranteed. See, that's just a shift in perspective. It's a shift in your internal state. It's a shift in your desire. It's a shift in your belief. So we have to be careful again, not to let the mind control us with its lies. Our belief is everything. You are the creator and the decider. So don't give your power away to money, to people, to gurus, to anybody. You deserve to be happy and free. And it starts with investing in yourself, which is your greatest asset. You deserve it. You can ask all the wealthy people in the world, what is your greatest asset? And they will say, me, my intelligence, my skills, my abilities, my belief system, my energy. You deserve to invest in yourself. You are your greatest asset and your greatest resource. There is no greater place to make an investment, and there is no greater place to receive the highest ROI, return on investment, right? When I quit my corporate job and filed for divorce at the same time, I had no idea where the money was going to come from. And it seemed illogical, but at the same time, I decided to invest in a $20,000 program that taught me how to do what I was dreaming of doing. Miraculously, everything I needed showed up, and I never went out without food, never had issues with paying rent, never worried about where I was going to go, right? I have been provided for beautifully every single step of the way. And in fact, I even developed the belief now that money is just energy, and energy is infinite. And when I release money, I make space for more to return to me. So it's actually a good thing. We want to increase tenfold because it's going out, and that means it's coming in, just like I breathe. I breathe in, I receive, I exhale, I give. I breathe in, I receive, I exhale, I give. And it's the same with money, just like a breath. We always have everything we need in the end. And the real challenge here is that voice of trauma. It doesn't want you to believe that you can invest in yourself or that you deserve good. And you have to ask yourself, will you let that voice win? Are you ready to choose a new belief? The truth is, we cannot hold abundance in our current state. Our current beliefs don't support it, and our energy is not aligned to it. Your bank account will tell you how aligned you are to the frequency of abundance. So if you know you are not where you want to be, it's time to recalibrate. And that's all. Let's tell a new story. Let's let go of the beliefs of I can't. Let's remember money is just an energy. It's coming and going. It's always receiving and giving and receiving and giving. You will spend the money one way or the other. And I don't know if you've noticed, but every time you spend money, there just happens to be more coming, right? Holding on to it and fearing it really slows it down, right? We don't want to slow down the flow of abundance. We want to choose the new belief to say, I have more than enough. I am cared for and deeply loved, and there's always a way. Remain as king by asking the question, how can I make this work? And watch the doors open for you. When you say, I can't, you are building walls. That is literally the prison which you build around yourself. Choose to believe I am worthy of my abundance birthright. I am worthy of investing in myself. Investing in myself is the best investment I could ever make. What I put out there always comes back to me tenfold. Be the decider and speak with certainty. Abundance is my birthright. I am the one to create my dreams. Money is my friend. Together we co-create heaven on earth. Money and I build great things together. Abundance flows to me every day in many ways, in ever increasing amounts and varying accounts. When I own my God-given power and authority to co-create with the divine, thy will be done. I remain as king by asking the question, how can I make this work? Don't let the voice of fear creep in. Choose to believe in yourself. Choose to remember your divinity. Choose to remember you are one with abundance, and it's all around you. You just have to get out of your own way by removing the belief or the disbelief and taking the reins back of your life. Take a moment to truly consider this. What is the cost of not moving forward out of this place? What happens if you stay where you are? How much more time and energy will you try to spend, or will you spend trying to tolerate your current state? What coping mechanisms will you have to lean on? How long can you stay where you are? How long will you continue doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? What is the true cost? What would you pay to make your dreams come true? What is it worth to step into your purpose? Watch your mind and watch the tricks that it plays on you, because those questions will bring up a whole lot of stuff. So all those things that are uncomfortable or make you feel triggered, those are pointing to wounds. Look for those areas where you feel it's not safe, right? Look for the areas where you say people are not safe. or I can't handle the energy, or I have to protect myself, or I can't trust them. I have to stay tucked away. Know that these are all lies. 56% of the world's population is capable of healthy attachment. Your brain will want to tell you that all people are bad, but the truth is 50% of people are actually good, right? You have a 50-50 chance. Your brain somewhere decided it found the evidence to prove that you are unsafe, that you were unsafe in the past, and that means now that the future is unsafe. Your brain will always try to find evidence to prove whatever you believe, right? It's confirmation bias. If you choose to believe something, your brain will seek out the evidence to prove what you choose to believe. You have to remember you have very strong neural pathways that support the ease of this kind of limited thinking. It's simply the filter and the trauma and the unworthiness speaking. Think of them as like little gremlins crawling all over your brain and sitting on your shoulder, constantly chattering in your ears. Those voices are not yours, and they are not your friends. They do not want you to live a life you were designed for. So name that beast, name that gremlin, and take your power back. You could call it the inner critic. I like to call mine the trauma demon. Others have called it Liar Larry, or words I can't say here. Sally, you can't do that was one of them. Whatever you need to separate yourself from those lies so that you can remember that you are the only thing standing in your way. The divine wants you to realize your dreams. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are enough. You are perfectly imperfect for your purpose. You are your creator's favorite. You are a gift to the world, and the world needs that special gift that only you can offer. As you rise the collective, and you cannot fail if you don't give up. So somewhere deep down in your soul, you know it to be true, that inevitably that fear of I don't have enough money or I'm not worthy is just not true. Refuse to comply and break through the belief. That is the first step in the healing process. That is how you show up for yourself. Stop abandoning yourself and use one of my favorite tips that I love to share. Again, I'll repeat it because repetition is the key to all learning. Remain as king by asking the question. You are powerful. You are the one creating your life, and you can create anything as long as you are aligned with the divine. Don't create that limitation of I can't or I shouldn't, right? But you have to break down this wall brick by brick because we built it brick by brick. You somehow separated yourself between you and your goal with your beliefs. And now you just ask that question, how can I make it happen? And that's how the door is open for you. You can open a door, you can open a window, you can open a portal, whatever you want to call it. This is the moment. Everything you need is within you, and it's always available to you. It's just that matter of recalibration. So are you ready? Last time I'm going to ask, are you ready to finally reclaim your abundance birthright? I have seen the evidence, not only in my life, but in the work of all of my clients every single day, day after day, client after client. There is nothing out there like trauma spotting. And it is the magic combination of eye movement, somatic experiencing, energy healing, and divine supports. And I can't even begin to explain what moves through us. There are no words. So when you pair that with a like-minded community, manifestation, and business and marketing strategies, the abundance is inevitable, right? Healing trauma is such a critical life skill that one day it will be known globally. This is like brushing your teeth and going to the gym and eating healthy. This is basic emotional hygiene. And because it's impossible to live a happy life without it, people are going to want to know about it. And so that's why I developed the trauma spotting through source tapping method. And if you're ready now, you can just jump right into the More Than Enough Mastermind and Trauma Spotting certification. That is where we will heal the trauma that allows us to find your purpose and tap into your abundance birthright. It has worked for almost all of my clients, and it will work for you. I will say the person it is not for is the person that doesn't want to show up and look at the shadows, because there have been beautiful divine souls who signed up, wanted to do it, chose to come to the session, but quickly leave, right? Or they just don't want to look at the things that are difficult to see. And I understand that it does require readiness, and it requires commitment. So if you're not ready, then I will absolutely be here when you are ready, but just be in that place of commitment. Otherwise it won't work for you, right? You have to work the system for the system to work for you, right? And again, I can't take credit for this because it literally accidentally came through me because of the divine. So this is absolutely divinely guided and channeled through me. So it is the key to unlocking freedom, happiness, fulfillment, and true peace. So we are nearing the end of our time together, but it doesn't have to be over. If you resonate with me and these messages over the last few days, if you have felt that I speak your language, if you have that full body knowing that this is right for you, then I have a few options of how to continue the conversation together, right? So my favorite option is a course that is near and dear to my heart. If you are very much stuck in the disbelief, the depression and anxiety, then the Success Path course is probably a great way for you to work on reprogramming the neural pathways, identifying your trauma responses, mastering mind, body, and soul alignments, understanding the energetic bodies, kind of spiritual one-on-one. This will help be the precursor to your stepping into your purpose and manifesting abundance. This is the lowest cost option. I do this for a reason, because if we have abundance blocks, then it can seem like things are just not accessible. And so I wanted to make something extremely accessible. The Vibe Tribe community is where you will not only gain access to the course that will help you overcome depression and anxiety, but it'll also offer you community, and you can see me live 3 times a month. We do live group trauma spotting sessions. We also have member makeovers where you can sign up for a one-on-one session. And then we do a Q&A, chit chat, coffee and tea once a month. And that is only $20 a month to join the Vibe Tribe. So this is my beautiful gift to the world in these financially challenging times. It is an excellent place to start. It absolutely will catapult, well, it'll get you started into the next phase. If you're someone who is more committed and ready to not only heal your own wounds, but you also want to learn how to help others do the same. That is, did I say this earlier? I think I got ahead of myself. This offer is the More Than Enough Mastermind and Trauma Spotting certification. First offer, Vibe Tribe community. Second offer, More Than Enough Mastermind and Trauma Spotting certification. This is a kind of a hybrid event where you get one time with me plus 8 sessions with your practice partner. So all total, you'll have 10 sessions. The course will cover Trauma 101. What is it? How to identify it? What are the trauma responses and common behaviors and beliefs that come from it? And also you will learn how to do the trauma spotting method. And we will cover all of the most common trauma responses, the beliefs that go along with it, and teach you how to heal not only yourself, but others. It's going to be awesome. We start Tuesday next week, or I guess you could say Monday. And the cost for this in this moment is typically $111 with a payment plan of $151. But until Friday only, I am offering the course for $888 upfront or a payment plan of $121. So this is great for those people who want to be a healer and who also need to heal themselves. We start, like I said, next week, and the price will go up on Monday, or I'm sorry, after Friday. So I guess that would be Saturday. So jump in before we have to close the doors. I do have to close the doors. This will be the last time I'm doing this in 2023. It's because the next remaining 12 weeks of the year, less than that, 10 weeks of the year, holy cow. We will be in the current cohort or getting ready for 2024. So, and then finally, if you're really looking for the highest level, you are fully committed, all in, burn the boats, let's do this as quickly as possible, then what I would offer you is the Manifesting Abundance Through Your Life Purpose Masterclass and coaching. And this includes one-to-one with me. You can sign up for 2 different options depending on the price you want to go for, but we can meet weekly or bi-weekly. And this will also, so we could do the trauma spotting sessions in the one-to-one, but also we will address any business challenges that you have. This is where we will look at, again, all of the sort of the core spiritual 101 lessons, as well as the trauma 101 lessons, and then your business building 101 lessons. So we will do the brain spotting. You won't be trained on how to do trauma spotting, but it will directly, you will just receive the trauma 101 sessions. You will receive the neural pathway reprogramming, the subconscious reprogramming, life purpose identification, manifestation 101, product development 101. I did work in the corporate world on physical products, so I can do anything from physical products to service products like softwares or even coaching. We will launch your online business. We'll help you build the website. I'll teach you marketing, sales, social media strategies for Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So, and I guess Instagram Reels would come along with that as well. So, yeah, it's a lot. I think that covers everything for that one. The package also includes, like I said, the one-on-one sessions with me and the trauma spottings. So for this couple of days only until Friday only, I'm offering a 30% off discount. Typically this goes for $3,000. I am offering it to you today for $6,000, which is $333 a month for 6 months. And again, like I said, the price will go back up on Saturday, back to the 3,000. So yeah, grab it while you can. I'm here for you if you have any questions. Do again, let me know if you have any desire for a one-on-one Q&A tomorrow. I'm happy to jump on. We can do that. Otherwise, the activity for the day, the much awaited theta healing for removing your abundance blocks. So if you post in the group the answer to the question, how has this accelerator changed your life? If you had to look back at someone who is in need of what you needed when you first started this accelerator, what would you tell them this is going to offer you? Would you, how has this changed your life? And when you post that post, send me a DM, let me know it's posted, and I will send you the theta healing for healing your body and abundance blocks. And then if you have done all 3 days, your name will be put into a hat to be drawn for a one-on-one session with me. The winner will be announced on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And I will look forward to supporting you in that way. I always have that moment of like, oh, it's over. I don't want to leave you. It's not over. You can find me in so many ways. You're part of this group now. I post here daily. If you want to stay in the Facebook group, you can see me that way. Otherwise, join us in the Vibe Tribe. Extremely cost effective. Most of all, I hope you join us for the More Than Enough Mastermind, because we're building an army of healers. The world needs to know about this, and you get to be part of affecting change and helping to build heaven on earth. So I love you, my friends. Namaste, and I will see you on the other side of whatever that may be. I love you.